Hey, deserving listeners. In today's episode, I'm going to go over the survey results of the survey that I sent to y'all about your attitudes and hot takes and opinions about sister wives. So I'm going to go over that. And I'm also going to present my final word of the whole thing, of all the seasons. And this might be the last episode that I make about sister wives. Not because I'm like angry at the show or anything, but where I am right now, season 19 has been published, but I looked online and apparently there's going to be another half to season 19. There's going to be a part 2 to season 19. And although a lot of things happened in season 19, there wasn't anything really for me to react to. Most of the stuff that was available for me to react to happened in really all the seasons, but even more so season, was it 16, 17, 18? Like, for example, the relationships ending with Mary and Janelle, they seemed to have really ended in season 18, and they were just solidifying those decisions in season 19. And so there's just nothing new for me to say other than like, whoa, what's going on here? I don't know. I just feel like I have better things to do, or you have better things to do than to watch me just go, that was so. Maybe something huge will happen in the second half of season 19, but unless it lends itself to my sort of content, I'll watch it, but I don't know if I'll publish any sort of reaction videos to it. So this is going to be a long episode because I'm going to go over a lot of the survey, which is that's going to take a lot of time. I'm going to reflect on everything. I'm going to provide my final word, which I've basically been talking about throughout the last number of reaction videos anyway. And I'm going to wrap up all my thoughts. What a journey that I've been on with this show. I've never been on quite a journey like this. I've watched other shows, but it was more parsed out. With this one, I watched 19 seasons in the span of, how long have I been publishing these episodes? 12 months or something. It's been such a big part of my life. and also just seeing the time warp that I've been watching, because I never heard of the show until recently. So to watch just the kids grow up and the hair color changes, the gray start to come in, and the relationships change so greatly, and just everything changed so much. I mean, the landscape of reality TV has changed so much. Anyway, so this episode is going to be long, and it's going to be rambly, and I apologize for that in advance. But first off, let's just review a couple of the survey questions here. This first question I asked was, has watching Sister Wives changed your opinion on polygamy? 9% said yes, it has positively changed my opinion. And then 27%, yes, it has negatively changed my opinion. And for 64%, it said no, same opinion as before. So this isn't a great survey question that I posed, because I don't know where they started out. So everyone is saying, no, I have the same opinion. Well, that doesn't say anything about whether or not it was a positive original opinion or negative or meh or whatever. So sometimes I realize after the fact that I didn't design the question very well. But I'm going to take a guess and say that most people were like the average person watching a show like this, which would mean that they don't have any firsthand contact with polygamous families like this, and probably have a negative point of view about it. And for 9%, they say it positively affect, which, I could see. For some people, they would see, oh, they're just like anyone else, and the families function like a lot of other families do. They're not like weird, controlled cult member people. Now, some people would watch this show and actually say they were weird cult people. They were just masking it or something, but you can imagine some people seeing that the polygamist family in general was humanized a little bit, which, I think is a good thing, in that we should never dehumanize or harm or prejudge individual families or individual people. We can certainly condemn the practice and the institution that is being practiced by these people, but a lot of these people grew up, or they grew up adjacent to this, and they're born into it, and they're a product of it. And you could say that they have a responsibility to investigate it to some extent, but that's asking a lot of young people. They were all in their like 19, early 20s when they're getting married into this family, at least aside from Robin. Anyway, so there's that. And then there's 27% that say that they think more negatively about polygamy, which is interesting. I wonder where people were coming from there, because by the end it did not work. And depending on what sort of conclusions you draw, some could say that it was doomed from the beginning, and especially with all the revelations that the sister wives would reveal later on, how much they were at each other's throats in the beginning, and how jealous they've always been, and how neglected they have felt. So maybe that's what these people are thinking of. And then 64% say same as before. So I'm guessing they didn't think highly of it in the beginning, and they didn't think highly of it in the end. Let's go on to another graph here. I asked people, compared to other reality TV shows, how much did you like this show? And 18% said Sister Wives is their favorite reality TV show. Now, we don't know how many other reality TV shows these individuals watch, but, I'm going to take a guess and say that there's a number of other reality TV shows that the fans of this show would have watched before, or would have watched along the way. And how many years has it been going on? Looking at my notes here, the first season was filmed in 2010 and maybe aired in 2011. I'm not sure. So for the past 14, 15 years, I'm guessing that people would have watched Sister Wives and other reality TV shows. So that's interesting. 18% like their favorite, which is interesting. And then we have 40% saying they like Sister Wives more than other reality TV shows generally, but it's not their favorite. And then 23% say, yeah, it's a good show. I like it the same as I like other reality TV shows. And then 17% say, I like it somewhat less than the others. And then a small minority of people, 2%, said it's the worst show of all time. So were people hate watching it, or did it not deliver in the end, or was it triggering? I don't know. So that's interesting. It's a pretty even breakdown aside from worst show ever. So very few, yeah, that makes sense, right? If someone, unless they're masochistic, if someone considered it to be the worst show ever, then why would you watch, and why would you watch my reaction videos? Although I do know there's a sizable percentage of people who watch my reaction videos and they don't even watch Sister Wives. They've never watched Sister Wives. They just watch my reaction videos. My wife actually being one of them, because she reviews these episodes, and I don't think she's ever watched a single episode of it, which is always interesting to me. But it would be kind of nice, because I condense the shows. But you miss out on the good times. That's probably, if you didn't watch the show and you just watched my reaction videos, you miss all of, particularly the first, 14 seasons, where 90% of the time during the season, there's happy, good, fun times and jovial laughter and bonding and just, living together and having a good time. So it would bias that in that direction. But anyway, okay, another question I asked on the survey was your favorite moment on the show. I asked a lot of questions, and this is another one of the questions. And someone here says, when Mariah came out, yeah, that was a very heartwarming scene, because, for me anyway, because at least most of the parents reacted very well, and one of the grandparents was there. And just to see Mariah step into herself and to be confident in that and to be accepted was very heartwarming to see. And it was a big question, right? Because you could say, well, they said that they would be okay with it, but sometimes kind of before that, but it wasn't a real question that they had to face, right? And some people and religious people will say things like, yeah, I'll love my kid no matter what, but really they believe that the person is sinning and they need to change, that kind of stuff. So another person said, when Christine leaves, yeah. Another person says, Garrison talking about all of his achievements, buying a car and a house. Yeah, that's... this person says, any moment that involves Cody dashing around from house to house. Huh. Okay. When Janelle tells him to get out. Yeah, that was quite a moment. And you understand where Janelle's coming from in that moment, you know. A lot of people loving it when Christine left, you know, the first one. This person says, anytime the older kids were together. Yeah, I liked those scenes as well. It was a breath of fresh air often. I didn't react to it because there wasn't much for me to say. And I don't feel good about highlighting the kids. The older kids are adults. Many of them are, or a number of them are actually, by season 19 anyway, a lot older than 18, right? So they presumably understand what they're getting into. But I don't know. But again, there wasn't really much to react to when I would watch those. The weddings episodes. Yeah, there were a lot of weddings, a number of weddings. Family culture. Huh, okay. Christine fighting herself. Janelle looking fabulous in her too small shirt and Cody's eyes popping out. When Hunter visited Isabel after her surgery. Yeah. That whole storyline with Isabel was a significant, important story arc. Yeah. So anyway, let's take a break here. The rest of this video, which I'm guessing is going to be a long one, will be for members of the YouTube channel. So yeah, consider this possibly the last video that I make about Sister Wives. I mean, who knows? One of the questions I actually asked on the survey was, are there any other content that you want me to react to or you think I should react to that's outside of the show? Because I've been avoiding all that stuff this whole time because I haven't been up to date. But now that I'm up to date in my timeline anyway, you know, by the time this episode airs, it's possible that the second half of season 19 will have already started or even aired completely. I don't know. But I asked that question, and so I'm going to look into a lot of those things. And if there's something there that I think lends itself to my sort of commentary, then I'll definitely check that out. But there's a possibility that there won't really be anything along those lines. Who knows? But yeah, so in the member section, I'm going to go through all of the, I don't know if you want to call it a grieving process of various different dimensions, but that's what I'm going to call it right now. So yeah, if you're not a member, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.